Good morning. I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board on December 12, 2023 to order. We will start this morning with the invocation given by Pastor Clarence Williams from the Greater Mount Zion AME Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Chair Carol Cook and the National Anthem. The colors will be presented this morning by Pinellas Park High School's U.S. Coast Guard, JROTC, under the direction of Master Chief Michael Collis. The national anthem this morning will be presented by Pinellas Park High School's Patriot Singers, led by Helen Twinham. Please stand and remain standing until the colors have been retired.
Madam Chair.
Good morning.
Members of the board, let us look to God. Father, we're thankful and grateful yet again for this marvelous privilege to be born in America, to live in a country so great, so vast, and so wonderful. Thank you for this chamber, the members, the homes from which they come. Thank you for the people that you put in our lives to make it sweet. Bless our community, bless this county, bless the work of this school district, but most of all, bless our students, faculty, staff, all those that are diligently working to see that our young people are educated. We pray, oh God, that you bless our nation, and most of all, oh God, we pray that you allow us to educate and to illuminate these young minds so that they can go out into the world and make a difference. Thank you now for the power of education. Amen.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, I'm Helen Twinham, Director of Choral Studies at Pinellas Park High School. This is Showtime, a part of our Patriot Singers, and next we will be performing Santa Baby.
Please be seated. Thank you, Mrs. Twynham.
Mr. Claus, I feel as though I know your if you believe in me. Santa baby forgot to mention one little thing, a ring. I don't mean on the phone, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. So Santa, shimmy down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa honey, hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa cutie, hurry down the chimney tonight.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for leavening all of us with that song this morning. That was wonderful. We will now share a video celebrating 50 years of employment at Pinellas County Schools by Grandmama McCree. Let's take a look.
When I got out of high school, I always wanted to be in education, to help with kids. I only had my mom as a role model, and I saw the things that she had to encounter, and I said, I want to be a part of some child's life. So I went on to school, got the paraprofessional training, and I've been doing that ever since. The first school I started was Lakewood Elementary. I was there for over 30 years. I retired in that May. Couldn't stand it. I was going crazy. So I went back. They phased out that program. Then I went to Sanderland IB School. So when they phased that portion out, I came over to North Shore.
Grandma McCree is the heart of North Shore Elementary.
Please walk down the red carpet. We would like to make you queen for the day here at the castle.
She is loved by every single child, every single adult, teacher, associate, and parent here at the school. She knows what makes the children want to be better, and she helps them to be better.
I tell them failure is not acceptable with Grandmama McCree. The Grandmama McCree started about 35 or 40 years ago, because some of the kids that I worked with in the public schools started playing youth football. So one of the coaches started saying, you know what, you could be my grandmama. I said, okay. So all the kids took after him. We can just show them love, unconditional love, positive attitude, and a caring attitude. We can make it. I thank this county every day for allowing me to be a part of expanding and encouraging some child. I would be 82 years old in December, and I'm enjoying myself with these little ones.
We did it! Woo, 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 woo.
I think I will be here until I just can't go, or they push me out the door.
Well, my heavens, that's wonderful. And, you know, the principal at that school got it right when she said all the parents value Grandmama McCree as well. I'm a parent at that school, and she not only leavens the students every day, but she leavens us when we walk on campus. When I spoke with her, I was there, and when I spoke with her after her Queen for the Day, one of the things she shared with me was, she said, you know, I could be having a rough morning at home before I leave, and I just tell myself 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, you'll be with those kids and everything will be okay. And I just thought that was wonderful. So she's held many hands and brought many smiles, and we certainly all thank her for her 50 years at Pinellas County Schools. Now we'll move to introduction of professional and community organization representatives with Isabel Mascarenas, our Public Information Officer.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hendrick, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Representing the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, or PESPA, Nellie Henez, President. From the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, or PCTA, Lindsay Blankenbaker, Executive Director, and Lee Bryant, President. Representing the North Pinellas League of Women Voters, Jean Reynolds. From the Pinellas Arts for a Complete Education Coalition, Maria Cantones, committee member. Today, we have a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibility Committee. Please welcome Zaytwan Hunter and Alyssa Brady from Pinellas Park High School and their principal, Brett Patterson.
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Zaytwan Hunter, and I'm currently a senior at Pinellas Park High School. I have always been interested in aircraft and technology, but it was after my freshman year and completing UAS operations with Mr. Remain that I decided what degree I wanted to pursue. After graduation, I plan to complete and receive a degree in aerospace engineering. The guidance I received from Mr. Remain, Ms. George, other staff, and my family showed me the importance of setting goals and not giving up on them, even if they're challenging. I am proud to be a part of the National Honor Society and a member of BSA, and played basketball for 3 of my 4 years as a Patriot. I look forward to being able to come back one day and give back to those who helped me get to where I'll be in the future. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alyssa Brady, and I am a senior at Pinellas Park High School. I transferred to this school a few days into my sophomore year and have enjoyed it ever since. I have the ability to go to school with all of my friends while also having teachers and coaches that are very supportive. When I graduate, I plan on attending USF next year, and although I do not know what I want to major in yet, I plan on getting my 2-year degree first and then deciding the next step. Pinellas Park High School has helped me prepare for college by allowing me the opportunity to take dual enrollment classes with St. Petersburg College so I can get ahead on my college credits. I have played volleyball and softball for all 4 years of high school, which have both positively impacted my high school experience because my teammates became my closest friends at school and my coaches became my mentors both inside and outside of the classroom. I also have been a part of the National Honor Society for both my junior and senior year, in which I have participated in multiple blood drives and learned to set a good example for other students on campus. Some accomplishments that I am most proud of during my high school experience are receiving MVP and captain awards on my sports teams, my GPA of 4.5, and getting awarded with Rotary Student of the Month in October of this year. Overall, my high school experience has been very memorable and would not have been possible without the support from my teachers and coaches. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaytwan and Alyssa and Principal Patterson. We just wanted to acknowledge you real quick since you're here. You're 17 years at Pinellas Park High School, 8 of which you've been principal. The leadership you've given there will last, and we want to wish you the very best in your new adventure as the inaugural principal of Mangrove Bay Middle School. Zaytwan and Alyssa, you have some help to do at your school in helping through the transition. When a school goes through a change, a big leadership change, it's important for everyone to be part of making that a positive transformation. So thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Item 2.1, changes to the agenda. Mr. Hendrick, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, there is one. It was posted last week. It is item 8.3, a request approval of the negotiated agreement with the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, or PESPA. The PESPA employees voted, and the agreement has been ratified, and we bring it to the board today for your approval.
Thank you. Are there any other recommended changes? Thank you. As board chair, I find good cause to amend the agenda as described by Superintendent Hendrick. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
I motion.
Motion by Mrs. Long, second by Mrs. Edmond. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Ms. Myers.
Oh, forgive me. Second by Mrs. Myers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to adopt the agenda has carried. We don't have any special order agenda today, so moving on to public comments on agenda items. Mrs. Hauk, do we have any public speakers to agenda items?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 2 speakers this morning.
Members of the public have 3 separate opportunities to address the board when we gather for a business meeting. The first is public comment on agenda items. The second is at public hearings, most of which are policies. The last is after our meeting when speakers may address the general business of the district. At each opportunity for public input, board members are here to listen to you. This is not a time for interaction, but the board will take your comments into consideration before it votes on the agenda items. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. This includes refraining from clapping or making audible noises during or after a speaker's comments. We appreciate you assisting us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment. Lastly, please note that this meeting and all public comments will be broadcast live on the internet, and the video will be publicly archived. Members of the public may always communicate with the board through our email address, board@pcsb.org, or by calling the board office at 588-6300. Thank you. Mrs. Hauk?
Madam Chair, board members, Mr. Hendrick, the first speaker is Mark Clutho. He is speaking to item 8.1.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Request approval of the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program. What could go wrong here? An increase of 1.5 mils. There's money well spent. Not $198.3 million. What have I seen in the past? Money squandered. $42.4 million debt service. Money up in smoke. Why do I say that? Because you continue to ignore science. Flagrantly ignoring science. What did Winston Churchill say? We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us. That was in Time magazine in 1960. When will you learn? The key word is correlation. What have you been doing? Look at the stupid Largo High School. West wall with light shelves. That's a device that's used when windows are placed strategically on a south wall to effectively bring light, indirect light into a building. They don't work on the west wall. And then that Clearwater building, oriented north and south, not east and west. So these are just two examples. I could go on for hours. So what does it tell me? The future looks dim. I don't expect you to do any better. Over 20 years.
The next speaker is Ms. Angela Taylor Sweet. She is speaking to item 8.2.
I have a microphone for you, so you don't have to go anywhere. It's right here. It's in your
Ms. Sweet, I will let you know when you have 30 seconds remaining on your time.
Will this microphone be recorded on YouTube? Just checking. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So I'm here to respond to the increase in teacher salary, professional development. China, as you know, they invented TikTok. And TikTok was banned or proposed ban by our governor. Well, what they do on TikTok is what they do is they teach mathematics throughout China to all grades, developing a mathematical mindset, critical thinking skills on TikTok. And what our country decides to do with it is for entertainment. And that's the problem. And we're in a crisis. Climate change is not going away. So we must develop a professional development or teaching opportunities where teachers will become entrepreneurs. Taking instructional system design courses, designing courses, classes, curriculum relevant to the students today so they can learn how to critically think and create, innovate, and dominate industry. They can't do it with this antiquated educational system the way it is now. So teachers, if you want more money, take an instructional system design course, leadership course, and start your own business online. Whoa, what a concept. So the thing is this, even if TikTok is not working for us, well, how can it work? Think about how you can maximize this tool. Or how about this? Create a new one. Wow. So that's the whole thing. You see, we're putting things down that we can't understand. We can maximize what China has developed, TikTok, and learn how to put math, technology. Goodness, oh my goodness, literacy competencies on TikTok? Do you think you would invite many students to take a part in that? I heard a presentation on mathematics. I fell in love with mathematics, and I'm 65 years old. I never thought I'd say that because
Ms. Sweet, you have 30 seconds remaining.
Because these mathematics or IT professionals, technology professionals, love what they're doing, and they want to impart that into our students, but they can't do it with the bureaucracy. Everybody lying, cheating, and stealing, trying to keep things from this group and that group. Yeah. So why don't we come together on this and get our kids educated so they can compete in a world, a digital economy?
Madam Chair, there are no more speakers for agenda items.
Thank you. We have no unfinished business, so we'll move on to item 7, the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Is there a second? Motion by Mrs. Kane and second by Mrs. Long. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. The consent agenda passes 7-0. Item 8.1, request approval of the proposed 5-year capital outlay plan and adoption of the tentative 5-year facilities work program for 2022 to 2024 through 2027 to 2028. May I have a motion to approve item 8.1? Thank you. Motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mrs. Meyer. Mr. Hendrick, would you introduce the item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This process is kind of spans the whole year and typically involves in the budget cycle. And so we talked about our capital outlay budget and the program of work. But you also have to officially submit something to the Department of Education. And Mr. Smith is going to talk about that process, the timelines. We are right in time with their timelines and talk a little bit about the 5-year submittal. Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. We are right on time. In fact, we have to wait for the state to open up the website for us to be able to submit the plan. It's been delayed for the last few years for whatever reason, and it just was opened recently, so we prepared the plan. As Mr. Hendrick mentioned, it is required by Florida statutes for us to submit this plan each year. The plan is developed internally by our Capital Outlay Committee, and it indicates how we're going to spend our $1.5 million local millage money over the next 5 years. Remember, the plan includes all of the major projects that were approved by the board back at the public hearing back in September. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Is there any discussion from the board? Seeing no discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of approving item 8.1, aye. Any opposed, say nay. Item 8.1 passes 7-0. Item 8.2, request approval of the salary increase for administrators, professional, technical, supervisory, and non-represented support staff. May I have a motion to approve item 8.1? Second? Second by Mrs. Edmond. Motion by Mrs. Kane and a second by Mrs. Edmond. Mr. Hendrick, would you introduce this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm excited to bring the last two of our employee groups to for raises this school year. And I don't want to steal any of her thunder, so our Chief of Human Resources, Ms. Texel, will talk to you about the first of these items.
Good morning, Madam Chair, school board members, Mr. Hendrick, and staff. The first of two agenda items this morning is to request approval of the salary increases for administrators, professional, technical, supervisory employees, and non-represented support staff salaries. We are requesting approval of the following. Exempt employees currently earning $15 an hour will receive between 3 and 4.25% salary increase. All other exempt employees will receive 4.5% increase. We also are recommending that support staff who were excluded from the bargaining units and who are actively working when the agreement is approved today and still employed by January 30th, 2024, will receive a one-time payment of $300, and that will be paid out if approved on February 16th. The school board also will be paying approximately 80% of the increase in health care costs to employees, and the school board will pay approximately $9.2 million for the increased Florida retirement system contribution, which is for all employees. If all increases approved today are retroactive to July 1st, 2023, and if approved today, employees will be receiving their raises and retro checks either on December 22nd, that will be for support staff, and or December 15th for administrative PTS staff. On behalf of the superintendent's staff, we are recommending that you approve these salary increases.
Thank you, Mrs. Texel. Is there any discussion? I know these negotiations take some time, and I just want to thank you, Mrs. Texel, and our bargaining team, and as well as the agencies that we bargain with for coming to this and getting it done before the end of the calendar year. It'd be very good to have that done.
Yes.
With that, we'll vote. All those in favor of approving item 8.2, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. The item passes 7-0. Item 8.3, request approval of negotiated agreement with Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, PESPA. May I have a motion to approve item 8.3?
Make a motion.
Second? Second from Mrs. Peters. Motion by Mrs. Long and a second by Mrs. Peters. Mr. Hendrick, would you introduce the item?
Yes, the final of our bargaining groups. Excited to finally bring this to fruition today. Good to see Nellie here in support. But also, you saw the video of one of our paraprofessionals who does the work in our schools every single day. And so we're excited to finally bring this one to fruition and, as was mentioned, to get this to our employees here in the next couple weeks. Mrs. Texel.
Yes, the next agenda item is definitely to request approval of the tentative agreements with Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association. I also wanted to thank Nellie Henyas, our president of PESPA, and Lindsay Blankenbaker, the executive director, for their work during this process. And just to summarize, the employees in this group covered by PESPA bargaining unit will receive, again, if they're currently earning $15 an hour, will receive a raise between 3 and 4.25%. All other employees will receive a 4.5% increase, and these are retroactive to July 1st, 2023. PESPA was also provided an additional $450,000 to be distributed to employees employed at the time of this ratification and still employed on January 30th, 2024, and that determination was noted on the salary schedule that was provided. Again, this pay date for the additional funds will be February 16th, 2024. Also noted and agreed upon for our Child Development Associates, or CDAs, will be reclassified from a D8 to a D9, which is equal to a 10% pay increase. And effective upon this approval, this will start with their January 5th paychecks. Also, each LPN, licensed practical nurse, employed as of the date of this approval will receive a one-time payment of $1,000 that will be paid out in their December 22nd paycheck. The board will pay also renewal costs for various licensures, certifications that were noted in this agreement. And as mentioned earlier, consistent with all the other groups, the school board will pay approximately 80% of the increase in healthcare costs and also the increased FRS contribution for all employees. I would like to note that this agreement did pass last week with 96% of employees voting in favor of the agreement. And Nellie also shared with us a very high turnout. Almost 60% of that bargaining group did participate in this vote, which was much higher than in previous years, so congratulations. All increases approved today are retroactive, as mentioned before, to July 1st, and if approved today, the employees will be receiving their raises and retro checks on December 22nd. On behalf of the superintendent's staff, we are recommending that you approve this agreement with PESPA this morning.
Thank you, Mrs. Texel. Is there any discussion by the board? Mrs. Long?
I just want to say that these employees were very deserving of the raise. Our support staff is the foundation of our schools. Without our teacher associates, our cafeteria workers, schools would have a hard time running. And I know personally, after all my 35 years, I couldn't have done some of the things I was able to do because of the support staff. So it's wonderful to see them receive what they're getting, and that's a good thing. And hopefully we'll continue to work as the years go by to bring them up to standards.
Thank you. We'll take a vote on item 8.3. All those in favor of approving 8.3, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Item 8.3 passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda is new business, items introduced by the superintendent. Mr. Hendrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yesterday, the Florida Department of Education released the 22-23 school and district grades for all schools and districts across the state. The grades denote the outcome of the new state progress monitoring assessments that were implemented last school year and serve as a baseline for future progress. I know we've shared at board workshops and here in the boardroom before that this transition to the new standards took some time for the state to go through and set new cut scores, but as they released these new school grades, they did so saying that there would be the same number of A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's at each grade level band, and the same for districts across the state as there were last school year. So the only way a school's letter grade could improve is relative to others in the state. Another state would have to decline in a letter grade for your school to increase. We have many celebrations across the school district when those grades were released yesterday, and I think leading the way were 10 district middle schools that improved their school grade this last school year, with only one school declining. 10 is a really large number of schools to increase in this formula of someone else has to go down for you to go up. And that includes leading the way Tyrone Middle School, which improved to a C, and Pinellas County Schools no longer has a school as an F as a result of their improvement. We're very proud of all of the schools and certainly evidence of the emphasis we've put on middle school education the last several months and year. Overall, 30 traditional district schools improved their letter grade, with 11 declining. 13 schools increased to an A after being below an A the year before, and I want to just share those schools with you real quick. Lila Davis, Garrison Jones, Oldsmar, Plum, Ridgecrest, Safety Harbor, San Jose, Starkey, and Southern Oak Elementary Schools, Carwise, Tarpon Springs, and Thurgood Marshall Middle Schools, and Sanderlin K-8 all improved to an A. As a district, we maintained our B grade, moving up 2 spots in the state rankings to 21st, our highest ranking as a district in the last decade. There's still much work to be done, but we're proud of our schools and the performance of the entire district. Of course, our schools are literally in the middle of the second round of progress monitoring assessments for this school year, and we plan to bring an update to the board on all of the school grades and how we're doing on the second progress monitoring at the January 16th school board workshop, as well as our continued plans to be an A district as is stated in our district strategic plan. Some other highlights from around the district. We're excited to celebrate Northeast High School, which is the first school in our district recognized as a Purple Star School of Distinction. This designation was established by the Florida legislature 2 years ago and recognizes schools that support the unique needs of military families. Purple Star Schools of Distinction support families through events such as military recognition events, service projects, offering the JROTC program, and giving families the opportunity to volunteer on the schedule which best supports their active duty. Northeast High School is home to many active duty families, especially many at MacDill, and we're very proud of this designation and the work of Principal Hernandez to promote this at his school. Last week, we celebrated with our partners at the Pinellas Education Foundation the annual Change Makers Breakfast, and I want to just highlight our over 40 business partners who were nominated for different awards at the ceremony, and especially congratulate the Elementary School Partner of the Year, Young at Heart, the Secondary School Partner of the Year, Raymond James Bank, and the District-wide Partner of the Year, Pinellas Park Sam's Club. We appreciate the foundation and all of our business partners. And last week, we also held the Future Cities competition. One of our goals for our middle schools to increase student engagement, and that was held here in Conference Hall with 6 of our pilot schools trying to come up with the best future city 100 years from now that would be resilient to hurricanes, combating wind, rain, and storm surge in the future. Students had to compile their city at their school, win a school-level competition to get to the district-level competition, and the top prize was taken home by Seminole Middle School with Carwise as the runner-up. Another great event recently in our middle schools, and really K-12, was the Sunshine State Drone Expo hosted by Azalea Middle School and their Civil Air Patrol. It highlighted drone safety and potential career paths, featured a variety of demonstrations by law enforcement, military organizations, and commercial-grade drones used for a variety of reasons in business and industry. It was very well attended once again. I want to offer congratulations to Sandy Lane Elementary music educator and magnet coordinator Pam Richardson. She was recently recognized by the Florida Music Education Association as their Music Education Service Award for 2024. Pam has been a music educator in our district for over 25 years, and you can go out to Sandy Lane to see their Conservatory for the Arts show this Thursday night as they put on a great program. We finished our fall sports seasons, and we're well into the winter sports seasons, but we wanted to congratulate a number of teams who were on the Florida High School Athletic Association academic team champions for their grade point averages in athletics. We had a whole host of schools finish in the top 10 in their sports, but had 3 state champions. They all happened to be from previously mentioned Northeast High School, the Northeast Boys Bowling Team, and both the girls golf and boys golf teams were the top performing academic teams in the state. Hollins High School earned 2nd place in boys cross country, and 3rd place winners included Hollins High for girls cross country, the Northeast girls volleyball team, the Palm Harbor University boys cross country, East Lake High girls cross country, and Osceola football teams. And a few reminders about other events happening in the district. Our annual stakeholder survey is underway. There's still time to take it up until December 22nd. It's operated and administered independently by K-12 Insight, and all responses are anonymous. Students can access the survey through Clever. Families can do so on our website at pcsb.org/survey, and employees have received an email with the survey link from K-12 Insight. The application period is underway for pre-K for next school year, and it actually closes tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. A special note and reminder to all of our staff in Pinellas County that pre-K 3 and full-day VPK are free for all full-time Pinellas County employees at our elementary school sites. Families can learn more at pcsb.org/early. And in case your calendar is not up to date, we have just 6.5 more school days till winter break, and lots to accomplish between now and then, including middle school and high school exams and many school concerts and events to celebrate the end of the semester and the upcoming break. But mostly for our board and our employees and our families, we hope you have a restful, enjoyable winter break. And finally, as I do at each meeting, I want to celebrate a superintendent standout. And this meeting, the superintendent standout is Maureen Hallett, a varying exceptionalities teacher at Gulf Beach's Elementary Magnet School, who's worked for Pinellas County Schools for 16 years. And she was recognized for her commitment to children and families of Gulf Beaches every day by supporting their journey in elementary school, meeting with parents throughout the year to set goals, and creating individual education plans. Her colleagues say that she's a dynamo who makes wonderful things happen each and every day. Thank you to Ms. Hallett and all of our employees for the great work they do in our district each and every day. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Hendrick. Are there any items by the school board attorney?
No items to introduce today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any items to be introduced by the board? Really? Well, I'm going to share a few things. Several of us participated in the FSBA conference recently. I really appreciated seeing everyone there. You know, at that conference, there are presentations on best practices from across the state, as well as opportunities to discuss with colleagues from across the state the kinds of things that they work on. You know, topics from school start times to transportation to reading pedagogy, school safety, bringing AI into the education space, year-round school, a number, and then including updates on legislation that we expect in this coming spring. So it was a good conference, and I appreciated being there with everyone. I was going to also highlight the survey. I'm guilty. I still have an email in my inbox that says, reminder, do the survey. So I do it both as a parent and as a staff member. That survey matters. We look at that. We depend on that response. It influenced our district strategic plan this last time as we were going into that. So please participate. It doesn't take long, and it really does have an impact. It even feeds into evaluations when we're looking at leadership evaluations. It's a very important document that guides our district based on your input. So please take a minute to fill out that survey, whether you're a parent, staff member, and our students can fill it out also. And then with it being the winter holidays, I just wanted to acknowledge our 14,000 staff members and all of our involved community members, and acknowledge the light that you bring into the world through your work in education. You know, this is the winter solstice. It's the darkest time of year. The days are short and the nights are long. It's a good time for reflection and remembering and resting and recovery and those kinds of things with that length of darkness. But it is also a time where our rituals and celebrations bring in the light. Tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. They will light a candle. Happy Hanukkah, my friends. And on Sunday, we lit the 2nd candle of Advent. Merry Christmas, friends. And all of us every day in education bring light. Education brings light. So I wish you and yours health, happiness, and light this holiday season, and also well into the new year in 2024. Mrs. Woodford, do we have any board requests?
No, Madam Chair, no board requests.
Thank you. And Mrs. Kane?
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say a couple words. Again, I second everything you said. It was really well put and well said about the holiday season coming about. And I just want to congratulate all of our staff and administrators and schools. I mean, it was incredible news from Mr. Hendrick, our superintendent, about the school grades and the improvements that we're seeing throughout our district, about the hard work and the passion and the effort that so many people are putting in this school year. And as we wrap up 2023, and it feels like, because school really ends in May, it feels like we're in the middle of the race here, but it is the wrap up of the 2023 year. And so it is really a wonderful time for reflection, and where are we and where are we going in the new year. And we'll have this very special time and break with our families to really think through that excuse me, and re-energize ourselves for 2024 that is coming up very shortly. And I just want to congratulate everyone for starting the year so strong. We put a strong emphasis from our strategic plan on the experience of our students and the experience of our staff, and it's really showing. It's showing in the numbers, and it's showing in our improvements and what we're doing for our district. And I just want to encourage everyone to keep that up. And remember, this is really the season of giving. We've coming out of the season of gratitude in November, and I am so grateful to be part of such an incredible district with so many incredible people working so hard to make us the greatest district in the state of Florida. And as we come into the new year in this season of giving, I want you to just take a moment and really reflect on what does that mean. I mean, we all are, as Ms. Hines so beautifully put it, celebrating different traditions in all sorts of different ways, but when it all comes down to it, it's the greatest gift is how we can wake up each day and be a gift to one another, to treat each other with kindness, brighten someone else's day throughout the season, especially those whom you live with. Sometimes they get overlooked the most in this season sometimes, and I think it's so important to come back to that and remember that if each one of us can just make the day a little brighter for those around us, we've really given the best gift. And so remember that in the season of giving and in the reflection of the new year. I hope that I wish you all a very happy new year in 2024 and can't wait to be back to get it rolling for next time. So have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Kane. With that, I'll adjourn this meeting and we'll move to public participation. Mrs. Hauk, do we have any speakers today?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 3 speakers today. The first 2 are Lee Bryant and Mark Clutho.
Thank you. Please note that the views and comments of the public speakers are their own and not endorsed nor sponsored by the school board. We cannot ensure the accuracy of statements made, but will review concerns that are raised and take appropriate action, which may include clarifications or the referral of speakers to the proper staff member for assistance. Additionally, please note that although board members or superintendent may leave the dais briefly, there are speakers in the back room, and we will continue to be able to hear your comments. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Hine, members of the board, Superintendent Hendrick, and staff. My name is Lee Bryant. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I am the president of the PCTA. At the beginning of one of our bargaining sessions this year, one of my team members was asked by one of your members how she was feeling. My member asked your member if they wanted a pleasantry or the truth, and your member asked for the truth. My team member let your team member know how much pain she was in and how much stress she was under by saying she felt, quote, beat the F up, only she used the complete word. She said it under her breath quietly and showing her pain. When I checked with my colleagues, none of them had heard it, including the person immediately to her left. When we had our first caucus and I had the chance to speak to my bargaining team member to find out what was going on, she explained the stress that she had gone through during the workday and the toll that it had taken on her. Your team expressed no concern for her well-being, only outrage that the word had been used. I apologized to the leader of your bargaining team and thought that was enough, but your bargaining team leadership decided to press it forward and file a complaint against our team member for her honesty, for a single word. Which brings me to my next point. Every member of my bargaining team is an educator that spends their days in the classroom dealing with students, parents, paperwork, and administrators. They're volunteers, sacrificing their personal time and expertise to help us bargain for the best possible outcome for educators in our county. Even more, they are protected under the law. Union reps and bargaining team members cannot be intimidated against in speaking freely and powerfully when they are engaging in protected union activity. We seem to say this every year, and sadly, it is true every year. Your teachers are overworked, underpaid, overstressed, and underappreciated. There seems to be a growing indifference from school and district administrators to their educators. They know the contract, and we know that they know the contract, but they increasingly ignore the contract and push back against the PCTA when we try to enforce the rules that you, the members of the board, agreed to. Maybe they believe that the attacks against the public education unions by the state, that the PCTA is going to be irrelevant and go away. I'm here to tell you that anyone who believes this is not only wrong about us going away, they are really wrong. PCTA is not going anywhere, and we are not going to give up the fight for our members. I hope in 2024 we can work together completely and truly and honestly. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Happy holidays.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Well, he said the teachers are underpaid, but I've never once heard any of the teachers suggest high-performance passive solar buildings that will save tremendous amounts of money that could go to salaries. That's a doggone shame. Yeah, and this morning it really makes me sad to see those future warmongers here, you know, all that pomp. You know, you should read that War is a Racket by General Smedley Butler, twice awarded the Medal of Honor. Yeah, war is a racket. Did you see Sunday's paper? Daniel Ruth? The rich irony of a Moms for Stupidity co-founder caught in a Florida sex scandal? Oh, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. They're hypocrites. They're hypocrites. I was told that they're down there in Sarasota now, attempting to get her removed from the school board. That's great. That's great. You're not supposed to cough into your hand. You do it like this. You're supposed to be a leader. Thousands and thousands of public service announcements.
Mr. Clutho, you can redirect your comments to the school board business at this point. Thank
That
you.
is business. That is business. I'm seeing what's happening here in the school board auditorium. Don't tell me that's not school business. Do I need to have another meeting with my attorney?
If you do, just have them reach out to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Boy, I don't believe this. This place is a joke. A real joke. You know, there's a saying, actions speak louder than words.
The next speaker is Ms. Angela Taylor Sweet. Ms. Sweet, I will let you know when you have 30 seconds remaining.
Okay, I just want to stand up. Thank you very much. I'm here today. Again, I'm Angela Taylor Sweet. I'm here representing National Council on Educational Policy. I'm here to talk about December 6, 1865 marks the signing of the notorious 13th Amendment Compromise, which was supposed to abolish slavery. But with the loophole, as in much legislation today, they were able to continue it under the auspices of academic failure pipeline to prison. Sure, yeah, that's how we're getting that back in there. So what happened is this, with the policies and practices of not only Florida Department of Education, but certainly Pinellas County Schools for the over 50 years now, the Bradley case, the Brown versus Board of Education cases, which pushed, enforced segregating schools that you did not want to happen. So you develop a new way to do that. Well, a line of black African-American boys lined up outside the principal's office because of behavior problems. Oh, wow. And then what happens is this. They miss class. And then what happens when they get to the 10th grade and they had a certain GPA, they're told they have to leave school and get a GED somewhere else. And get this. Thousands of our African-American students being passed from grade to grade to grade without even learning how to read or write. And they give them a high school diploma finally, without even learning how to read and write. We're the only nation in the world that has Our students can't read and write. So I want to tell you about my neighbor next door. I have a neighbor, CJ, 10 years old. Well, he has two brothers in jail doing a long time. A father that has done his 7th round of recidivism. Yeah, and they all started at a very young age. CJ is 10 years old. He can't even read. He reads. He thinks reading is decoding words like what you do. Reading is endeavoring to understand, but they're not taught how to do that. What the teachers they have to teach what
Ms. Sweet, you
the
have 30
principals tell
seconds
them
remaining.
to teach. They have no in other words, they can't be creative in the classroom because of the bureaucracy. So our children go on without being able to compete in a world that requires critical thinking skills, or not even be able to read and write. And our black boys, all they can look forward to is not when they go to prison, it's not if they go to prison, but when they go in, being black.
Madam Chair, we have no more speakers.
Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the new year.